Hi, today's lesson is on diffusion. We will explain the effects of temperature on diffusion. In order to do this, we need to be able to describe what is meant by the term diffusion, and we will investigate diffusion using the particle model. Why are we learning this? Molecular biologists study the building blocks of life itself, cells. They can earn on average £29,000 in the UK. Understanding how cells work allows us to continue to research how new medicines will work and how disorders can be managed. So let's look at the particle model. Solids, liquids and gases. How are these structured? So solids, tightly packed together, liquids, slightly freely flowing, whereas gases, very freely flowing. Let's look at this in more detail. So first of all, you've got the solids. How are the particles arranged? If we notice, the particles are arranged in circles. We use circles to demonstrate this. They're very close together and they have a regular pattern. Because they are close together and they have a regular pattern, they vibrate on the spot, which means that the energy levels are very low. Liquids, on the other hand, have a small space between the particles. They are close together and they have a random arrangement. They don't actually have a regular pattern like solids, as you can see from the diagram above. Therefore, they move around each other, which means that their energy levels are medium. Gases, on the other hand, have lots of space between them. They are far apart and have a random arrangement. They move quickly in all directions. Therefore, the energy levels are very, very high. Now, what happens to the particles as the temperature increases? We will look at an example of this about tea in hot water, warm water and cold water. But the particles gain more energy and can move around more quickly. Look at this example. If you put a tea bag into hot water, they have more energy, the particles. Therefore, diffusion takes place quicker, which means that the cup of tea will look more like tea in hot water than warm or cold water, as you can see from these pictures here. In warm water, the particles still have some energy because they are warm but not hot temperature, so therefore it will still produce some diffusion and some colour from the tea bag. Cold water would take a lot longer and therefore it won't diffuse as quick. Why? Because particles don't have as much energy. So what happens when you put a tea bag into hot water? As you can see, this is the results from hot, warm and cold water. So what is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of particles from a high concentration to a low concentration. For example, the tea bag. All the concentration is based around the tea bag and it will spread around to the rest of the cup of tea once the particles have the energy, especially in hot water. The particles will spread out and move into the spaces between other particles until they are evenly spread out. So why does diffusion not happen in solids? Diffusion does not happen in solids as the particles, as we've already looked at the particle model, are in fixed positions. It only happens in liquids and gases.